Hey, let's get going for the day. Today is day 48. We are actually going to start working on this phase 4 implementations. So today we're going to be working a bit on the persistence and skill side of things. We're going to be enabling username-based username-based login and persistence. So what that actually means is that we're going to have a basic login screen by the end of today. We're going to be able to log in with the username, and then that's going to be saved in. We're just using a file storage right now. We're not actually using a database. This is all just for testing right now. Everything's hooked up so that we can swap over to a database at any given time, but we're going to be using file storage for now. So we'll have basic username login. We're not going to have to worry too much about security at the moment in terms of password or any of that, since we are, again, this is just for local testing so that we have persistent testing data and have separation by username account so we can test different players. We are also going to be implementing 4 new skills. We're going to be implementing fishing, cooking, piety, and bravery, as well as, well, maybe not fully implementing them, but we're going to try to get those added as well. And then we are going to be looking at adding some more resources and nodes that players are able to interact with, so that we have actual level progression rather than just like we already have a little bit of level progression for witchcraft, but not very much. This is going to be more of a gathering skill progression rather than having any sort of basically that's it. Gathering skill progression. So, without further ado, I think we should start sending Claude off here, and then we will take a look at where we're at in the game right now. So, actually, before we start sending Claude off, I do have one more thing that I need to, or one more chat that I need pulled up right now. But we are going to be reading over the login saving document really quick just to make sure that everything looks good, and then we will send Claude off on his mission for today, which is going to be starting with the login. Since we have all of the diagrams, all the documentation and planning set out already. So let's take a look at what we have planned for the login and saving. This block Q2 really, the levels, we want the level persistence before we add the new skills. So the goal is that the player currently receives a new UUID on every connection and they're saved. Did I read over this yesterday? Oh, I might have read over it. No, I didn't. Players currently receive a new UUID on every connection and their save state is not reloaded unless you get somehow the 1 in impossible odds of regenerating the same number. So players currently get a new UUID, can't reload their save. This phase introduces username-based login with a login screen, no password. A session token is issued and the player's persisted state is loaded. All existing test saves are deleted. They have no value at all. We can't even reload them. So we're going to make sure that we have our OAuth swap point. This is for future integrations. I do have another project in the background for OAuth integration with payment and authorization for use of the game. It's tied in with the distribution of it. That's nothing to worry about here, though. Username and case sensitivity is going to be case sensitive, no normalization. Session token time to live 1 hour with 12-hour max session, then forced logout. Existing no ID saves, delete all of them. Reconnection behavior, we want them to be able to start off right where they disconnect from. And then token renewal is going to be slightly before. So we're going with the current state. We have the persistence backend. What we read yesterday was all of the design documentation that we went over. This is the actual plan documentation. So data saves players UUID.json. New player session generates a fresh random UUID on each call. The server creates a new session for every TCP connection. No lookup, no reload. Client sends action join. So the scope of this, as I've mentioned, we are going to add our client login screen. This is going to be a separate flow from the current game part of the client. So first screen when the client binary opens, blocks the game loop until the Delta login acknowledge is received. Simple username text field and connect button, no password field. This is just for my local testing. I want to be able to have my levels persist. When we were going to go do that, we'll switch it over to the OAuth flow anyways. No password field, no account management. Sends a action login username on submit. On Delta login acknowledge, player ID, token, and token expiry store. Both proceed to game. On reconnect within token window, reconnect instead of login, skips the username screen and restores the session. Wire protocol, the game handshake before any action are accepted, so they go to login, sends it to the server. New connection creates the token, returns the login acknowledge with the token and the expiry time. Action player join, it joins the existing game flow, Delta zone state. Preactive renewal token fires back and then returns from with a new token and expires at. Reconnect flow still valid. Reconnect with token, login acknowledge, player ID, token expires at. Pretty straightforward, standard login flow, at least standard login and token refresh flow. We don't really have any middle. We don't have anything really in the middle at the moment. So all game actions are received before the Delta lock acknowledge. All game actions received before the Delta login acknowledge are sent or dropped with a log warning. Okay, so we've got additional logging. Total session lifetime is capped at 12 hours regardless of renewals. After 12 hours, the server rejects the renewal token and the client is forced to re-log in. We can change that at pretty much any point, but that's how things are kind of going to work. Resolve player, OAuth theme. So this is resolve player. We can basically have our load here, and then we can swap this over to UU, or we can stop this over to OAuth in the future. OAuth replaces steps 1 to 3 with a token validation call and a user info fetch. No other code changes. Token system. Session token is randomly generated opaque string, 32 random bytes, hex encoded. The server holds the active token in memory. Map of token to player ID and expiry on each game action. The server validates the token is present and not expired. Token renewal proactive. Client stores expires at from the acknowledge. A background timer fires with T5 minute sends action renewal token. And then server validates the current token is not expired and that session's total lifetime has not exceeded 12 hours. If both pass, the new this issues a new token. If the 12-hour cap is reached, the renewal is rejected and the client shows the login screen again. We should probably add an additional warning there, again with an additional notice of what happened. Persistence index, the username UUID loaded at the server startup, written automatically. Temp file plus rename on new account creation, protected by mutex for the concurrent save access. Existing saves are deleted. Files to create, we need to create server login and player's index. Files to modify, we need to modify the wire, the messages, the network, and the client, as well as adding the login screen within the client, which is still just in the client. Verification is basically we open up the game, we log in with something, we have an account that's created, we run around and do some stuff, and then we log out, log back in, and have all of our stats and everything the same. So, now, without further ado, let's get Claude running off on this so that we can hop into the game and take a look at where we're at currently. So, all of the planning is complete now. Review the Q1 login saving document as well as the corresponding architecture document in /design. In design, produce an implementation plan to-do list, then begin the implementation to cover all requirements of the Q1 login saving document. So we've got that set up now. We're going to pop open the actual server. This way I can actually log in and show off what we've got at the moment, and we will pop open the current client. So you'll see, well, actually you won't see it right away because it takes Streamlabs a little while to actually pick up that I've even opened my game. There we go. So now that we have there we go. Now that we've got this open, we can see our sprites, we can see our game, we can see our character, combat stats and skills. We've got Jack, we've got the banker, we've got our herbs to pick. If you see that we have our herbalism XP going up, this is basically going to be what we've got implemented at the moment. We've got our inventory, our equipment, we've got key bindings. In our inventory, we're actually getting a fair amount of herbs. We don't have these split up yet. That's actually one of the later things that we might actually get to today. That's part of the new skills and skill additions and reworks. It'll involve saying things that aren't just raw herb resources. We've got our trees for wood cutting. Currently we have wood cutting, mining, herbalism, refinery, witchcraft, and assembly. Wood cutting, mining, and herbalism are all gathering skills. We're going to be adding fishing as an additional gathering skill. Then we've got refinery, witchcraft, and assembly as constructive skills, things that allow you to build other things. We're going to be adding cooking for that. That's a refinery process or a refining process, but we don't want that in just refinery. And then additionally, we're going to be adding piety and bravery, which are world progression skills. Those are to incentivize players to actually interact with the world, make sure that things are maintained as long as possible, and reward you with sort of that's where all of the end game stuff is going to come from way down the line. Well, I shouldn't say all the end game stuff, but those are going to be heavily tied to end game stuff at higher levels. So what we're doing right now is we're just collecting some wood so that we can go and sell it to the shop and actually get a pickaxe. Since I'm just showing off sort of what we have implemented at the moment while these get updated, we want to basically actually it doesn't matter if we make progress right now since we're not going to be able to save it anyways, but it'll be a good example of exactly why we're implementing what we're implementing. I don't know if it'll be today, but at some point we do need to add cooldowns to all of these skill refinements, because as great as it is for testing, being able to just spam these interactions really simplifies a lot and really makes it I don't know, it kind of feels too fast. Maybe I do want them to be able to be spam clicked. I'm really not sure if I want to add an artificial delay in between. I do know that I need to fully cap the crafting from just filling the inventory and then continuing to craft and just having the crafted items go into the void. So what I'm doing right now is I'm running over to the rocks. You actually do need a pickaxe in order to be able to mine the rocks. But I'm making my way over to the boss, which is like way on the minimap. It's way off here. So you'll see I'm able to collect some ore. The ore is quite slow considering you only get one piece at a time compared to the wood that we were getting like 6 at a time. That's mainly there for not tutorial reasons, but for like ease of testing reasons. I am looking forward to some parts of this phase that are later in the planning. Specifically the decor in the unloaded areas or the out of bounds areas, as well as the game editor UI, because I really don't like how many large open areas there are, and editing stuff through the configuration files is kind of a pain in the ass. They're there to be able to load from, but they don't actually help with being able to easily build the process. So we're going to update wire, messages, sessions, server, add server login, network, client, sync, render, tick input, tick, and then do the final build. That looks like a reasonable series of steps. So, it's already on a compact though. So what it did was it went through reading the phase plan. Reading the phase plan and the design document, understand the code base that needs to be changed, see the structs, read the remaining client sections, Okay. I'm just going to wait on some mana. We'll keep hitting him with melee until we've got higher mana. There we go. There we go. Big fight. You'll see it did take us a little bit longer than usual. This took us about 33 seconds. It still only used 4 abilities total. I'm pretty sure it's running out of mana, honestly. It hit 2. So what the boss ended up getting buffed was the target offset, so that it'll try to aim at where it thinks I'm going to move to next time. The cooldown reduction and the projectile count. Now that we've got this, I can actually buff my throw hatchet. So before it was doing about 20 something damage, but now when I throw it, it's actually one-shotting these. It should be doing about 120 damage at the moment. It'll be a little difficult to see that until we go up here to the danger zone and actually try to fight some of the mobs that have a little bit more HP. This is pretty much all going to get reworked as we go through this phase. Right now, the mobs are very bare bones. See, 123, and we got the bleed. We could go take a look at the chupacabras, but it's very dangerous in there. They will actually one-shot me right now. And if you were wondering what happens on death, I basically drop all of these in the green item slots. These green item slots are resource slots. Everything else is an item. So you drop all the resources that you are currently carrying, that you've collected, that you haven't dropped in the bank, and then you respawn back at town. Technically, if you run back fast enough, you could pick them up again, but I think things only have like a 1-minute respawn time. And the number of times I've had the arrow reset on me, it's kind of funny. Ooh, look at that. We got a fair bit. It is nice that we're able to fight the chupacabras, but they would one-shot us if we were not careful. Look at that. We got a chupacabra fang. This really should be a resource as well if all the other stuff is a fang. All the other stuff is a fang? All the other stuff is a resource? All the other fangs are a resource. There we go. I can speak after a long day. I swear. My streams might not say that to be the case, but I promise that it is. So. So once we finish this, phase, the next phase is going to be focused on preparing to do some play tests with some actual people, get it set up on an actual, get a public facing access to it, give it off to a couple of friends and get them to help me test. Just to make sure that there's no excessive lag over the network. So that'll be something cool to look forward to. Because then it'll be people other than me that haven't really tried things out. So in order to get things set up there, we're going to need to make sure that we enable OAuth, actually set up a database. And so enable OAuth, set up a database. Here we go. Enable OAuth, set up a database. Add some sort of tutorial explanations of stuff, and then just make sure that we have sort of refined what's available in the game. But that's a fair ways off now. It's crazy that that's already the next phase, though. Oh, we will also have to make sure that we have sprites for everything that's in the game at that time. Even if they're not the best sprites, but we will need sprites. So that's going to make for a fun experience. With that being said, we might end up spending a bit more time on this phase in order to get all the sprites in, all the mobs that we want built. We might even come back and do some additional skills and level rewards. We want to make sure that we've set up the actual skills to have a bit of content in them. Man, it's a long run all the way back. Yeah, I need to do something about the grass, because the grass does not look great when it's just sort of blank noise. Oh, we might as well go cut this tree down as well while we're here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to making this look more like an actual oak tree. Oh yeah, the other thing is I do have this roll, but really there's nothing dangerous enough to make me want to use it. Here's the thing with roll. I guess I still need to make this a customizable ability as well. Every class is going to have their own type of mobility ability. So like mages will have a blink, archers or lumberjack will have a roll. Archers might have a dash, like and I want them to be able to customize them as well. For example, with these modifications, I want there to be one that like adds wall or something like that of walling, which causes the dash to put a wall in the middle, or of healing or something. So every time you dash, you gain or you regenerate 10 life points or something. Maybe explosive roll, so you want to roll while you're near stuff and it causes an explosion at the location where you land. These can also be applied to the other abilities. They need to be like rare or whatnot. So basically all abilities are going to by default have one modification slot. Then players are going to be able to spend their feat points to increase the number of modification slots that are on them. So for the first little while, the modifiers will be fairly mundane, fairly simple. But then as things keep getting developed, there'll be progressively more complicated ones and more intricate and exciting to use. I'm also going to need to make it so that I can spend feat points on combat. But these are things that aren't even going to be in place until after I do some initial testing, or initial testing with people. So. Actually getting pretty close to the login already. Yeah, the thing I'm looking forward to the most is going to be the decor. Having just stuff spawned outside so it doesn't just go, and darkness. I should probably also make it so that people can resize. Thinking. There's a lot of things that I need to actually consider. That's brightness up. There we go. I'm also trying to get a little bit better with my actual lighting for my camera based on how it picks it up. Oftentimes it makes me look very washed out, and it makes my hair very shiny. So it is what it is. Oh, we still got a bit of a slingshot there. I'm thinking of putting like a series of stone decor here. Not quite a Stonehenge, but a henge-ish. And then having a path come up to here. There will be probably wood and herbs scattered around here. Then you get to the town, or the central part of the town. The central part of the town is going to be mostly buildings. I should probably build out some of those, add some more NPCs, just to have some stuff to look at and interact with. Then the first zone, well, there's going to be a blocked off part up here that you'll probably have to complete a quest to get access to. That'll probably just be once you've completed the tutorial stuff, basically, you'll get access to that, so you can go in a kind of a loop. This first zone is going to have sort of a winding path down the middle with the mobs skirted off along the sides more. Then the mid forest is going to be more of like a donut sort of area, with the upper forest then being stuff trying to stay away from the danger zone. I do need to figure out how to make the danger zone feel more ominous and dangerous. Because right now it's supposed to be a large area that hosts sort of like the end game stuff, but right now it just kind of exists. It does have the toughest mobs. Those chupacabras are scary. They're scarier than the boss. But, stuff's not really dangerous. Ooh, look at this. We're just about done this first part. We may or may not have logins. If we do, well, that'll be pretty cool. So let's see what it says here. Build is clean. Q1 login and saving is fully implemented. Here's what was done. Wire layer was added, +4 payloads for actually communicating the different parts. Server gained auth fields and pre-login gate that drops all non-login events until the handshake completes. Player index new implements the Soul OAuth theme. This is where things will be changed at later, and extract from the old is now minimal. It only creates the session wires and starts the go routine. Client has a whole bunch of new states for it and handlers. Or I guess these are mainly the handlers. So that's player ID token login state, refreshes token clears, raw pending, or renew pending, raw pending, renew pending. I can read. Shows the full viewport login screen when login state pending. Tick input captures username, text input and submits enter. Tick fires action renew tokens at T-5 and forces re-login at the 12-hour session cap. We're not really going to be testing that at the moment. I'm going to be honest. The next open item was addressing the map editor. Notes to add stubs, which was pending before Q1 work began. Did we have notes to add stubs? There. Anyways, so we're gonna shut this down for a moment. Let's take a look at the map editor. It said that there's notes to add in here. Notes. Yeah, there's no notes to add. What is it talking about? It's chatting shit. All right, let's get the server running again. This should be with the new login. All right. Enter username to continue. So we have no skills. Oh, why is everything level 0? All right, we've run into the first error. After logging in, there is no anything in the world. All levels are 0. The zones are missing. I don't think the handoff to client worked correctly. So, don't really need that. We can go take a look, however, at the data. There we go. Data saves players. We don't have a new player. That's an issue. We were expecting the player to be in where? Files to create, files to modify, data saves player. Data saves players. Yeah, there's kind of nothing there. Login player imp, danger zone. So there's not much that was actually logged at anything. Zone bounds received, delta snap. The issue is clear from the screenshot. After login, positions are 00 and stats are empty. Root cause is send initial state, calls functions like send inventory update, but the session's map is still keyed by remote addresses. Those sends never find the session. Also, delta correct arrives before login acknowledge. So it's ignored. Player ID not yet set. Let me read the send helpers to confirm the lookup mechanism. All right. See, this is why we're addressing this as the first part today, because, well, I kind of wish I was able to reopen the pre-existing part, but we're just kind of gonna chill here for a moment. Maybe I'll sketch some stuff around. Give myself a more interesting mustache. There we go. Give myself a hat. All right, so I've got a ball cap and a mustache, and then clearly I need a monocle. There we go. Yeah, I've got really nothing to do in the meantime. So based on the speed that this is going, if I wanted to, I could probably blast through all of this over the, like, literally just over the weekend if I wanted to. I could align my streams to make sure that we get everything done. But I think I want to make sure that we spend extra time actually going through the reworking of the zones, make everything sort of set up and nice. While we're actually waiting on this as well, we might as well go through these other portions of the phase. So we have zone placement deferred until Q5. This is on the new nodes and items. So the goal here is expanding the gathering nodes to the full multi-tier system with the level requirements, hazard variance, fishing, cooking, and a formula-driven failure rate. Zone contribution tracking is introduced here as the server-side foundation for the Piety XP distributions. We also need to make sure that the boss tracks... Well, no, because the boss gives the XP for bravery on defeats. So then decisions... Decision answers. Hazard node classifications are harvestable, overflow spawn only. All resource types have hazard variants. Node art, new sprites required. Atlas rows reserved. Placeholder PNGs generated before zone configs reference them. Finish placement, item config skills, Atlas slots done here. Zone placement deferred to Q5. Failure rate formula, base plus base squared. Per node difficulty parameter, single named function. Hazard placement, deferred placeholder level nodes until Q5 zone editor is available. Hazard ore and names. So we're going to add Glenna and Cinnabar. For wood, we're going to add warped bamboo and toxic yew. For regular ore, we're going to add arcanite to fill in the gap. I don't know why that's really called out here. Piety XP mechanism, like, really, we should be able to just delete this. It should be outlined further on. Piety XP mechanism, zone config, upkeep XP field. Formula Piety XP equals contribution count times upkeep XP distributed via the global broadcast when the zone's upkeep quota is met. Offline delivery deferred to future saving work. Bravery XP, hard mode boss defeat only, not a gathering concern. Cooking fire is going to be a refinery thing. So for herbs, what we're going to sort of be adding is going to be buttercup, raspbramble, which is basically just raspberry, cactus, thorn willow, poison thistle, and dragon spine. Ores, we're going to add iron, bauxite, arcanite, cobaltite, wolframite, Glenna, and cinnabar, with Glenna and cinnabar being hazard, mainly because Glenna is lead and cinnabar is mercury, I want to say. So, you know, hazardous metals. It makes for good hazard ores. Beyond these, we'll probably add more fantastical ore names. Then we're going to have, for wood, we're going to add birch, pine, oak. Right now we have birch and oak, but they're technically both just tree. So birch, pine, oak, maple, warped bamboo, and toxic yew. Fishing, we're going to add sunfish, perch, bass, pike, walleye, muskellunge. Reminder that currently the max level for any of these is level 70 that you can train a skill to. So something like level 60 is way down the line. Item outputs are going to have their own specific items for them. Then cooking, fish can be cooked. Better not be musky here. Very good. All right, fish can be cooked in parallel with fishing level. No musky cooking recipe. You do not cook a muskie. Cooking requires the player place campfire. Campfire duration. Any player. Oh, hey, they actually did the math here. Any player can use the placed campfire. Campfire item must carry the log tier, so the server knows its duration at placement time, either via distinct item variables per log. So we're only going to be able to cook fish for now. Failure rate formula, player must be at or above the required level. Then we're going to have a success rate, which is used as the base and sort of the scaling factor. So base is the difficulty field in the config node, capped at 1 difficulty, at level requirement +1 and +2, etc. So we have like 0.3, +1, +2. I might even change the scaling rate more, depending on how fast I want the success rate to scale. Should be a fairly easy change in the future, though. And, oh, we might have saving now. All right, so session map, key mismatch, the main one. Send to player ID does session load, but sessions were stored by remote address. So every call to the send inventory update silently drop their deltas. The client received none of them, leaving inventory skills and equipment empty. Fix both the handle login and handle reconnect before calling send initial state. So we can turn. What did I do? Anyways, bug 2 ordering. Login acknowledge was sent last, and then sends the delta correct position to the zone data, while delta handle correct on the client doesn't check player ID. The label was rendering with an empty player ID. More importantly, after reconnect, the player uses player ID to tag outgoing events. Fix the login acknowledge, which now sends before. So by the time the position arrives, it's already logged in. All right, let's boot up the server again. And then pop up the client. I'm going to wait till this actually shows up here on my stream before doing anything. I'm not sure if I waited too long last time. So you'll see we just have a very blank login page with Hatchet. So if I enter in imp, we now have our skills. We have our equipment and our inventory. Oh, look at that. The town loaded. So I'm going to quickly minimize this as well. We should actually see the new save file now. So in saves, players, yep, there it is. There is the save file. Do I have a format thing here? There we go. Player ID, total feat, points, feat allocation, malleability allocation, class unlocks, error marks, inventory, last reward, era ID, and checkpointed. We have that, and then we should have an index here which maps the player name to the login save. Cool. So let me pull back up the map, the game. And then I'm going to just get a level or something here. And then we'll see how relogging works. We'll see if it works correctly or if there's going to be a couple more bugs that need to be fixed around it. So what we're looking at here is we have level 2 herbalism and we've got 9 herbs. There's no logout option, but if I just close it and reopen it, wait for this to be picked up by the stream again, type in imp, and it reset. So it's not great news. What happened in the saves? We did not get an additional save. We did not get an additional index. I'm going to go and just collect some stuff and then perhaps we need to add a logout option as well. How often does the player's status get saved? This might be the core of the issue. I think we need to possibly just wait long enough for it to get saved. I also don't see skills. I probably should have asked about a couple of different things, not just the player levels, or not just the player's status. No, it might tell me about inventory items and skills separately. Because I think it's like every minute things get saved, but it could also be every 5. Because we can't get onto the skill stuff until we've made sure that we're able to actually save and reload. Login, information. The save happens via checkpoint all, which is called at the end of every error heartbeat. Once every 5 minutes, it also saves the player at error reset. Those are the only 2 triggers. There is no per disconnect save or more frequent period save outside of the 2 events. So if the server crashes or the player disconnects between checkpoints, up to 5 minutes of progress can be locked. That's the current design. There is no on disconnect flush. There needs to be a save on disconnect as well. Also, make sure that the player's items, skills, and bank storage are saved when this save happens. So we're gonna up the actual amount of time that, or we're not gonna up how often the save actually happens. We are, however, going to make sure that we save on disconnect for the player. I was also thinking maybe we need more frequent saves for things as well. Saving only on era is a long time in between. I'm not sure what frequency I want this to be saved at. Anyways, while we are waiting on this, let's continue reading through some of the more in-depth plans for the phases. So if we continue looking back at the multi-resources portion of it, we are we're gonna have to add the zone contribution tracking for piety. The server maintains per zone per player contribution counters, resource gatherers and mob kills, both regular and hazard node gatherers increment resource gatherers, preventing overflow and clearing it both count towards piety. When the zone's upkeep quota is met, the server computes PIDXP by contribution and upkeep XP, broadcasting to all players online. This will be to all players in general later, but that's not in the initial scope. Player record doesn't populate inventory storage or any skill level fields, and player record is also missing gather XP, gather level class XP equipment. I'm concerned it also doesn't include the location. Resets both contribution maps, zone config additions. Offline delivery MVP handles online players only. Players offline when the quota is met do not receive the PIDXP for that cycle. A future save restore mechanism outside this phase will track pending XP and award on next login. This data is in memory only. The server restart forfeits the current cycle's contribution acceptable for the current implementation. Values first pass. XP values. Why are the node specifics giving XP? Oh, wait, right. This is just in general. This is not for PIDXP. This is... Sure, I'm not worried about the initial XP amounts anyways. All values are tunable via config, no code required, or no code rebuild required. Skill config files are new files in data skills, follow the wrapper schema. Fishing icon frame unlocks. New files, fishing unlocks, cooking unlocks. Implementation order, item configs and data items for all new outputs and cooked fish. Atlas rows reserved in data sprites, placeholder PNGs generated. Node config schema, add difficulty field, or add a difficulty field. Zone config schema, add upkeep XP. Node configs for all types, regular plus hazard. Campfire refinery recipe config, skill config files, cooking recipe configs, campfire proximity check, server gather success rate function, roll gather, contributions tracking, first pass or XP first pass values in all node configs. Okay, so we did get this. My understanding is that nothing is really saved though. So if I disconnect from there and restart, I don't think I needed to disconnect the server. Log in. Yep, it just reset us back to the start, which is not great. That's not what we want. That's why we asked what the current things. That also means that the location is not considered at all either. Files to create. We're going to have to create quite a bit. Butterthorn. Ah, that might be an interesting one. Buttercup, raspberry amble, cactus leaf, thorn willow bark. Thorn willow. Did I call it thorn willow? I did call it thorn willow. That's crazy. Wait, no. Shouldn't thorn willow be a tree, not a herb? Anyways, not important. Oh, my nose is bugging me though. Poison thistle, dragon spine. Nah, bark will be fine. maybe leaf instead of spine. I'm not sure. Anyways, cooked stuff, skills, fishing unlocks, cooking unlocks, recipe camping, sunfish. Also realizing I didn't even have the correct chat open. Interesting. Hope there was nothing so far. Files to modify. We're going to have to modify nodes, all the zones, the game configs, the interact gather zones, or tick. How is this an or? Probably both. World outstanding questions are all resolved. So I'm kind of running out of steam from speaking. So I'm just going to take a moment and kind of just chill. Noted. Why did I? Yeah, I gotta make sure why I saved it as well, though. There's no real point in me doing any of this right now. We don't have leveling yet. Or, we don't have leveling yet? We don't have our save working yet. So we'll have class level, XP, gather level, equipment. Have any buckers? No way. All right, let's see what we've got here. Build is clean. Here's a summary of what changed and why. Persistence interface added class level, XP, gather level, equipment level, zone ID, position XY, 2-player record. These were always defined on player session, but were never written to disk. Persistence IO player to record now serializes inventory, equipment skills, level, class, position. How about HP slash MP? Because I think that's missing as well. Now serializes inventory, storage, equipment skills, level, class, position, apply player record. Now restores all of those fields. Equipment stat mods are intentionally not applied here. They're deferred to send initial state, so they happen after level up replay. No, equipment stats need to be applied when the player logs in. Server XP replay level ups. Server XP added replay level up stats, which applies per level stat delta silently, no wire send. Used during login. Okay. To replay accumulated level up bonuses before sending the final combat stats delta. Login now. So it sounds like the gear stats will be applied during login, which is good. Send initial state now prefers the player's saved zone, or now prefers, yeah, now I guess it has a fallback probably. Now prefers the player's saved zone when loading, falls back to a town spot. There we go. Yep, it was literally the next line. Ban the cuck too. Now prefers the player's saved zone, falls back to the town spawn for new players. After player record, it replays level up stats for levels 2 to N, reapplies equipment stat mods, and clamps HP MP to new maximums. Also added the save player on disconnect, which grabs the world lock snapshot, snapshots the player and writes directly to the persistence back end. Network on disconnect now calls save player on disconnect before removing the player from the world, so a clean shutdown or dropped connection always writes a fresh checkpoint. Looking through what we save now versus what's on player session. Derived from login. Current HP MP is not saved. Okay. The login code sets player HP after playing, so players always log back in at full health. If you want to save restore current HP, I need to add current HP stat. Add current player HP slash MP. I don't want people to be able to just get. I can't speak. I don't want players to be able to just disconnect and reconnect to be able to cheese getting full HP MP. Most games treat login as a full restore. Speaking difficult today. As a full restore, it's a design call, intentionally transient, never saved. Intentionally transient? No, it's not. Also, I don't know any game that fully heals and restores your MP when you log in. At least not any MMO that I'm familiar with. Well, Realm of the Mad God, I think kind of does, but that might just be... I think you can still log out and log back in with low HP. Let me... Well, I never log out with low HP. I was going to say let me try, but that's a bit of an annoyance. Clean build. Okay, so we're not actually going to get the save the first time we log in. However, we should get the saves going forwards. So I'm just going to reopen this, log back in. We're going to be at level 1 for everything. Let's just go grab some stuff real quick. So there's two things we're going to have to test here. We're going to have to test that logging out will save our character, and then we're going to have to test that reloading the server and reloading the player save correctly. Anyways, we don't care too much about... no, I kind of want to get my herbalism level up. There we go. Let's get the level up. Let's cut the tree down. Wow, a lot of failure on this right now. Come on, just cut the tree down. One more. Well, it's not going to cut the full tree down. I just want to get level 2. There we go. Okay, now I shut the client off. I reopen it. And I wait for it to be picked up again. There we go. Now, I should log back in right next to the tree. I log back in. That's awesome. Level 2. Level 2. Our items are on. Our stats are up to date. Perfect. We actually logged in. So a couple of other things that we're going to have to test now. We're going to want to test the storage saves. We're going to want to test that the inventory clearly saves, but we're going to want to test that the bank storage saves. Then we're going to want to test that the HP and MP save, which I'm pretty confident that they do. But I mean, it's better to check than to leave it and just hope, right? Oh, I need to make sure that the do the modifications for the abilities save. If we modify our ability, does that save or does that get overpassed at the moment? I'm not sure where that gets included in it. Ability modifications were saved even before the recent changes. Looking at player 2 record, the original code already serializes the full ability modifications. Okay, good. Good. That's what we want to hear. That's not what the cat wants to hear. The cat wants to hear that it's food time, but it is not food time for the cat yet. You know, I even make sure to give the cat a little bit of a snack before this, but... Hey, why can't I... There we go. I was like, why can't I buy water? Yeah, let me just put that in the bank, put that there. Now let's go get in a fight. Yeah, players can disconnect cheese at the moment, but like, Hey, you, fight me. Oh no, it's getting the upper hand. All right, so I disconnect that. And then what about if I disconnect the server as well? Server shut down. All connected. I want to make sure that connected players would get saved if I were to shut down the server as well. It's not the worst if they only lose 5 minutes at most of progress, but like that still sucks. Look at that, we got our HP and MP still. Okay, we can actually make progress. I don't know what that bug was. I'm going to ignore it for now. I don't have any of the logs that are required for it. Okay, perfect. There we go. I won't actually test that right now because I know it's not applied. We are going to go get ourselves a item, but we can new terminal, git start, git commit, -m, saving, enabled for player, heartbeat, disconnect, server shutdown. So now we're going to look at the multiple resources. So awesome, saving, it is working well now. Review Q2 multiple resources document, then the corresponding design documents, and then produce a to-do plan for station. Once the plan covers all requirements of the document, then implement the changes. All right, so it took us about an hour maybe to get the saving all added in, updated, and swapped around or configured, or make sure that we weren't missing stuff, which really not bad. That's pretty good timing. That leaves us enough time to start moving on to the multiple resource change, or the resources and skill changes. This is also going to be another test of, or this is going to be a test of what happens when changes are made for the saves. Do the saves still load? Do they end up getting reset? What do we, we're going to make sure that we have to build it. We're going to make sure that we have to. We're going to build in a fallback for loading saves. If a save doesn't have everything, it'll have default values. Make sure that we load the new, or the old saves in and augment them with new information instead of overwriting anything initially. So we don't want to have to go through and update every save when we add something new. We want to just be able to add a save that is old and have new saves right with the new changes. I am going to disconnect and reopen just to make sure that the combat levels get saved as well. It looks like they do. That's good news. If I just randomly click around, nothing really, no issues. Okay, we're looking good. We're looking good. This has been crazy progress. Maybe I overestimated how long these things were actually going to take, right? My estimating times still is greatly skewed towards how long it would take me to manually implement all of these. And then I kind of like divide by 3. I go, this is how long it would probably take me, and then if I can probably do it like 3 to 5 times faster, so I'll just divide by 3 for easy, and I'm like, it'll probably take me 2 hours to get this in, and then crazy. Actually, honestly, it's probably like 10 times faster because I don't have to reread any documentation of stuff. Let's see how fast we can kill the boss here. We are reset to level 1 again. We need to wait on a bit of mana. There we go. Look at that. That was a 15-second boss kill. We got our crystal. There we go. Get out of the zone. Test the restart again. Interesting bug where when I click, a piece of gold appears after I've respawned, or after I've logged in. That doesn't seem like it should happen. So once we do this phase as well, I might make it so that these larger sprites can be clicked on anywhere, rather than just having to click on the interact or the lowest portion of it. I should be able to right click at like the top of this birch tree to actually see the examine options on it. We could grab a little bit of gold while we're here now that we've got our throw hatchet updated or upgraded. Oh, that hurt. Holy. I forgot how much they hit. We'll go fight a couple of those chupacabras. Holy. Gonna have to loop around to get that. I don't really want to lose all my stuff or all my items. Oh, I really missed that one. Go, 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 go. Okay, this combat doesn't actually feel too bad. I'm doing a terrible job at casting my spell, but honestly, it's supposed to be like that. Not a bad experience. Not a bad experience at all. Don't know if I can survive a hit. All right, let's head out of here. And make our way back towards the town. It feels good to go through a zone again and then see that the tree is already cut down. It feels like progress. It feels like there's no balancing at the moment, but I mean, it feels like progress still. Because we really shouldn't be able to fight stuff in the danger zone. The danger zone is supposed to be like the super endgame area where you're kind of risking it for everything. Hey, where's my... Oh, we're on the northern... Or we're on the southern side, not the western side. I'll take an extra 4. And just process literally all of it as I'm walking, which is kind of OP. I don't really want to be able to do that. I've also been thinking more about what direction I want the sprites to actually go in. I'm thinking I kind of want them to look more 2D and with a sharp shadow to them. So there should be like a sharp shadow along this top left side of it, I guess. I think that would give me the effect that I'm looking for. I almost want towards like a Paper Mario-esque, I think. Whoops, don't need all caps there. In-game, Paper Mario in-game. Not really. No, I guess it's a bad example. But yeah, I want more like heavy shadowing along the top side to make the top parts of them pop more, and then the bottom sides can be more more soft and blend into each other a bit more. Should also probably grab some more water vials. I assume this is tidal wave, right? Yep. Wait, difficulty? Oh, right, for the bosses. Now wire difficulty and upkeep into zone initialization. Hey, little dandelion. Hey, little dandelion. Hey, little dandelion. I know there's other lyrics to this, but I can't remember any of the other ones. So, real question, does this count as country rock? Because I do enjoy the song, but I really don't enjoy country. And it's kind of got that feel to me personally. What the heck is that? Everything's just shaking a little bit. I should probably keep some logs for when I get like fire making or like the ability to cook stuff added. So, oh, I probably should also add that I need fishing rod and that I need to make the fishing rod purchasable from probably Jack again for now. Maybe I add a little pond to the starting zone so that I can practice or test the fishing skill. Might be a good idea. So I'll keep a stack of logs in here. Open bank, store all leads. Make sure we got our crushed ore. How much XP do I get for these? 25? This is much faster. Do. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I have much else that is, it's not like I have much else to do right now. Basically, craft HP potions, craft healing salves, craft mana potions. Not much else. Ooh, I did not put the back I did not put my backdrop where I normally do. I went to lean backwards and I just about knocked the whole thing over. That could have been, well, not disastrous, but that would have been a pain in the ass. What? I don't know what that's about, but it seems like spam, so what the fuck was that? Anyways, do. How are my levels looking? Nothing level 10 yet. Still gotta train. I have no way to train assembly yet. That's funny. That's real funny. I guess it might make sense if I just bank stuff instead of selling it constantly so that I can have resources when I have assembly as an option later. Currently, that's not a thing. Don't know if I'll need regular herbs, crushed herbs, or ground herbs, crushed ore, or regular ore. I haven't even thought about it yet. But just gonna keep walking around, leveling up. Now that we have a save, there's actually a purpose to this. I think I tested with the refresh for the modifiers on stuff, but I can go get more crystals from the boss as well. That's probably a good use of my time now. My goal is just to make sure I have all the resources and levels and stuff that I need to be able to test stuff as I add it into the game. Because I could always modify my files, but like, where's the fun in that? Actually, what does the file look like if I wanted to? Oh yeah, I could totally just modify it and give myself whatever I wanted. Not important though. You don't need to see it. That's hidden. That's hidden stuff. Hidden save file. Oh my eye. I am a little surprised that the CAT hasn't started going crazy for FOOD. I wonder what's going to happen when these get added. I wonder if any of the old materials are going to be mapped over to... Yeah, see, there's wood getting changed to birch wood. But what I don't know is if it's going to change the underlying items for it either. Might as well collect stuff and find out. Running all the way up here. Man, it takes so long. Well, it doesn't take so long. It takes forever to get to the ore compared to everything else. And then you get to the ore and it's like one at a time. But like I said, we're reworking all of that right now anyways. What just happened? So I think it just made a YAML file update. or a sprite update. Oh no, it definitely updated the YAML files. So apparently that's what happens when things get updated in the middle of gameplay. I'm gonna have some stuff to address. Okay, the logs are now mapped to birch. Oh, wait, no, only new logs become birch logs. They don't look like they're resources. My ore was mapped to iron ore. But ore chunk, I still have ore chunk. And then raw herbs. Gather ore iron. Oh, that is interesting. Okay, let's go find a mob. Let's see what happened to the mobs. Nope, still a forest wolf. Right, nothing happened. Nothing got updated for the mobs. That was interesting. Is everything just the birch? Oh, everything is the old birch. I'm gonna have to redo my sprites. So I think the sprites are just gonna stay broken for today. Oh, that was a real fast fight. 9 seconds. So let's take a look now. Sprites are not updated there. Wait, I have a sprites folder that doesn't even get used. Oh wait, no, these are the locations of the sprites. Weird. Here you can. I will show what I'm looking at first. So I forgot I have the sprites folder here, which doesn't actually contain sprites, so it's a poorly named folder. I haven't looked in ages. Then the data. Oh, sorry, assets, sprites. Nodes. By the way, because I haven't really shown these off, this is what's actually used for the ore. This is the permanently dark part of the ore. And then this is the actual shiny metallic portion of the ore. And the dull used portion of it. I think I did a good job on it. So it looks like everything is grabbing like the middle part of this sprite, or the top part of it, maybe. I think it's the top part that's being used. What about when it's... Oh, no. Buttercup? What? No. Q2 fully implemented. Here's what was done. Go code change events. Okay, let's read through this, and then let's restart the server and let's see what mess we're in. So Event added player ID to resource gather event. Added event zone quota reset event type and zone quota reset event struct. Events re-exported the new type and constant. Zone added zone contribution struct, added difficulty to resource node, added upkeep XP and contributions to zone, added difficulty to resource node config. First off, I didn't ban you, I timed you out. Secondly, it was just weird begging behavior for never having said anything in the chat before. Zone contribution struct added difficulty to resource nodes, upkeep XP and contributions to zone. Config zone added difficulty to resource node config and added upkeep world wired difficulty and upkeep XP through zone node init. Initialized contribution maps heartbeat wired difficulty to hazard zones, now snapshot contributions and publishes. Event zone quota reset before clearing maps. Wire added message string to gather payload. Added gather success rate formula. Updated role gather to use it on successful gather and increment counter. Yeah, doesn't matter. It's in the past anyways. Roll to gather now tracks kill contributions. Now handler distributes piety XP as class XP to online contributors. Added fishing and cooking to known skills. Should that not have also added piety and bravery? We'll find out in a moment. Handles herb or wood fish prefixes as atlas placeholders. Gather failure now shows the rejection message in red when present. 32 new data files, 6 herbs, 6 ores excluding iron ore which existed, 6 logs, campfire, cooked fish, skill config, zone updates, all 6 updated with. All right, thank you. All 6 zones with node updates, generic. Now I have to test the server restart. We'll see if I lost everything or not. Did not lose everything. I did lose my buttercups though. So that happened. Let's see if I gather. Oh, the sprites are all messed up. Okay, closing this, turning it back on. Did not lose buttercup anymore. I probably need... Oh, right, I'm not even showing that part. Asset sprites generated. Abilities, bosses, buildings, effects, ground items, nodes, tiles. Regenerate the placeholder sprites. I need trees to default to the 1x4 as well. The sprite 4. To back to I need trees to continue expecting the 1x4 or 4x4. Oh, right, skills. Skills don't show all of the new ones. I probably need to make sure that that gets changed. I wonder, are these now recognized as they are? Okay. Okay, decent change. So I know when we go to the bank... Oh, I should probably show the game again. Anyways, when we go to the bank again, we will find out what happened to the other ones. All of the mini-map nodes have also changed what their color shows. Everything's defaulting to... Why are those defaulting to the bottom? This only took like 30 minutes to actually get the changes in for, which is kind of cool. That's actually insanely fast compared to what I expected. Buttercup log. Wait, what happened to our gold that we had in the bank? Maybe we didn't have any in the bank. We still have crushed ore, ore chunk. We've got iron. Can we process iron at all? Nope. Log. Buttercup goes above herbs. Bank storage is going to very quickly need to be increased from 24 spots. What's going on with the tree up here as well? Okay, still shows wood large, but it gives us birch now. Wait, why did these not stack to 25? Let's check the configuration for that. We will see command gen atlas client data items. Ooh, item. Birch log, stack base. Okay. Stack level multiplier. Oh, right, we have stack level multipliers. Probably something we should make use of at some point. All right, so we have our assets generated ones. Let's just check if these have been run yet. No, they haven't in the slightest. So we'll just do a little bit of training in the meantime. Oh wait, I can make a campfire now. It should really just spawn on the ground, but... There's currently no light campfire option, despite being able to craft a campfire. I understand why that person name was in search of IQ, because they've lost their own. Makes sense. Well, we'll have to add use to that. Wait, it became the that's funny. It became the birch log when it was consumed or depleted. Wait, no, I don't care about the buttercup. I don't care about the buttercup. There's the birchwood. I want to see what the birchwood depletes to as well. Okay, so the birchwood just kind of vanishes. It's around here somewhere. A resource node. A resource node. Okay, so if we take a look at the generated files now, we should see... Okay, we need items updated. Move the pre-existing ore/herb parts to the... Okay, wait. Do all of the... Okay, so we're gonna end up losing some... well, honestly, let's restart the server and client, and we'll see what things look like. Are the pre-existing ones used as a fallback, or what is the point of the old large tree for a curb now? Can they be moved elsewhere for default? They should be handled somehow. Also, okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this. Also, items generated file also needs to be updated so that each newly added item has its own sprite too. Nodes. We have to shut these down and reload them now. Hey, well, there's that phantom gold. Like, see, if I collect Buttercup, it doesn't have its own sprite at all. Neither does the birch logs. I also realized that this is now smaller. Also, the size of the old large tree was changed from 4x6 to 4x4. Needs to be fixed again. Now let me check on render one node. There's going to be a fair bit of editing back and forth here to make sure that all of these new parts work correctly. Yeah, all of a sudden there is so many sprites that are going to be needed. What I'm getting stuck on there either. Oh, my gold disappears from my... But then ends up back in my inventory. That's a weird bug. That's also something that's going to have to be addressed. I didn't notice that when we were testing the saving earlier either. The picture is clear now, addressing everything together on the generic rows. Yes, their fallback targets. Node atlas frame, but that path is broken for the variable like atlases anyways. Uses uniform grid indexing, so anything below row 0 gets wrong Y coordinates. Still, all active types now have schema rows. I'll remove unused generic rows and replace the broken fallback with a magenta placeholder box. Large wood stays, it's an active type in zone town main. On large tree size, restoring to 4x6. On items, adding rows 2 to 5, the new item files already have sprite coordinates assigned, but they conflict with existing items. Reassigning herbs plus campfire to row 2, logs plus new ore to row 3, raw fish to row 4, cooked fish to row 5. Starting with nodes and render world changes, then items. Do, 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 do. Now updating the Gen Atlas. Possibilities. It's so short. It's also weird that it gives birch logs. But these are all just issues to slowly work through. If I refresh, I should have all the new. Wait, no, I have to copy these things over. So I'm gonna rename in the background. Rename. Items old. Copy that over into sprites. And then nodes. Delete that one and copy it over from generated as well. So now if I turn this off and restart it, whoa, that was weird for a moment. My NPCs are gone now. Is there a number on gold? And item stacks no longer show an item count. And my skills got reset. Okay, so since the skills got reset as well, we're going to want to take a look into the saves. Resource level, okay. Check planet modifiers. Oh, do we have... Nope. Inventory. So 2 stacks of gold coin. Where do we have skills? Storage. Ability modifiers, class, lev. Okay, there we go. Herbalism, mining, refinery, witchcraft, woodcutting. Alright, this is the last thing I'm going to be able to do before running out of context for now. And I don't feel like puttering at the moment through the code manually since we've already been live for over 2 hours. So, hopefully this fix gets put in and then... What did I say anyways? So what did it say here anyways? I don't know how this changed any of the stuff. Here's the full picture. Generic fallback rows removed. Like, I can't even... Let's try reloading again. Oh, everything's gone. Let's restart the server. Uh-oh. Go run server. Go run / client. Okay, we reloaded it here at least. Still missing other things. So we might want to wait a bit before sending the signal on login again. That looks like that's a bit of an issue. Two bugs are unlike. These 2 bugs are unlikely related, are likely unrelated to Node Atlas changes. Let me check if inventory goes right. Look up. And verify whether item JSON got bomb computed by PowerShell. It's not the root cause of both bugs. Item configs fail to parse. I'm hoping that this finishes before running out because... Okay, so let's see this. Why does it... No. Okay, so BOM corruption, both bugs, PowerShell's 5.1 set content encoding UTF-8 silently prepends the UTF-8 bomb. Goes JSON decoder to decoder rejects bomb prefixed files, so all 30 item configs failed to parse at runtime. With item configs absent, defaults to 0. Hiding this, the cascade also disrupted load all configs in a way that broke NPC registration. All 30 files stripped and verified clean. Item sprite frames map not updated. The client uses a hardcode map in inventory to look up the atlas coordinates. All 30 have been added. Okay. Server running again. Code // client. So, moment of truth. Log back in. Okay, we got weird gold glitch. We have all of our gold in our inventory again. I think I know what's causing the gold visual bug. We have no way to use the campfire. All the icons on the map are the same. We at least have our sprites again. So that's going to be it for me today. I'm going to go get food now. Then I might putter on this a little bit again later today. But I'm going to go get food for now. Thank you everyone who stopped by. I will be working on this again tomorrow if anyone wants to see how the game continues